Do you feel like your homeschool feels too chaotic or unstructured some days and you aren't getting done what you hoped, leaving you wondering if your kids are falling behind? Or maybe you've tried adding more structure only to feel your kids' resistance building as if learning has become a battleground. It's such a tricky balance, and so many parents feel stuck in this exact spot while homeschooling. If you've been around me for even 5 minutes, you know how fired up I get about bad homeschooling advice. And believe me, it's everywhere. One thing that really gets under my skin is the way people twist the idea of freedom in homeschooling. Yes, homeschooling comes with incredible freedom. I mean, just this morning, we tossed our original plan out the window and went in a completely different direction. It was perfect for us today, but I have a foundational structure that allows me to do this. I'll explain. You often hear these so-called rules floating around in the homeschool world, like don't use schedules, or that's copying public school if you're too rigid, or checklists. Oh no, we don't use those. That's just like public school. Or those will just turn your days into dull routines where kids just go through the motions and start checking off boxes. If you're too structured, your kids will lose their love for learning. Make it stop! Are those really universal truths? What if I told you that finding the perfect balance between freedom and structure in your homeschool is not only possible, but within reach? You don't have to choose between chaos and rigidity, and you certainly don't have to feel like you're just barely holding your head above water. Believe me when I say, a homeschool that feels calm, creative, and purposeful isn't a far-off dream. It's closer than you think. Here's the thing, freedom and structure aren't enemies. They're actually a dynamic duo that you need working together to help your homeschool flourish. Today, we're cutting through the confusion and focusing on what really creates a healthy, thriving homeschool. You'll leave this episode with 5 practical ideas to help you go from just getting through the day to watching your kids thrive. So here's our organization. Here's what we're digging into. First, why structure isn't the joy stealer that you might think and how it actually creates space for your kids' creativity and confidence to shine. Next, why structure sometimes gets the bad rap in the homeschool world that it does and what we can do to shift that mindset. And last and most importantly, how to create a system that meets your family's unique needs. I know some days feel messy and maybe there's part of you wondering if you're doing enough, but I promise you, that transformation is possible. I want you to have a homeschool that supports your kids and feels good to you too. Before we dive in, hi, I'm Christy-Faith, author of Homeschool Rising and the creator of the most robust homeschool training community platform out there, Thrive Homeschool Community. And I'm so happy to have you here today. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. Which also reminds me, if you're new here, you have to hit christyfaith.com. I have so many amazing free resources for you on my website. We'll put a link in the show notes. All right. Let's talk about the first big idea, why structure in your homeschool isn't the buzzkill that it's made out to be, and it's actually the secret to unlocking more joy. Can you imagine trying to build a house without a blueprint? You'd have no plan, no foundation, and no idea where to even put the walls. It would be a total disaster. Well, I see raising and educating kids without structure in the exact same way. Without a framework, things might look free and natural on the surface, but in reality, it can lead to stress, frustration, and missed opportunities. So let's talk about what structure actually is and how it can work for you, not against you. Structure at its core is simply a framework. It's an organized system, an arrangement of tasks, timeframes, and dependencies within a schedule. Think of it as the skeleton that holds everything together, allowing the body, or in this case, your homeschool day, to function smoothly. And why is this so important? Why should we embrace structure in our homeschooling journey? Because, and listen up, don't miss this, structure provides kids with something vital that they need: security. There's research out there today showing that when kids have predictability in their daily routines, they actually feel safer and more confident. In fact, studies suggest that children who experience structured environments tend to have better emotional regulation and are less anxious. It's like a safety net for their minds. Knowing what to expect makes them feel grounded. And don't we all want that for our kids? We all want them to feel confident, secure, and able to handle the challenges of their day. Now, I bet you already have some structure in place, even if you haven't thought about it in this particular way. Do you wake up each day and have no idea what you're doing? I'm guessing not. You probably have a routine of some sort, whether that's unloading the dishwasher, feeding the pets, or getting the kids ready for the day. That's structure in action, because let's be real, if you don't have some kind of plan, our kids will make a plan. And it usually involves chaos, permanent markers, and candy for breakfast. All of those little routines create predictability and help the day run more smoothly. So why not apply the same concept to your homeschool? With a little structure, you can create an environment where your kids feel more secure and your day has a rhythm that works for everybody. And if you're like me and view structure as an essential, you're probably wondering how it even gets a bad reputation. Well, we'll get into that right after the break. As a homeschool mom who values a family together approach and leans towards the classical and Charlotte Mason styles, I often struggle to bring my educational vision to life with my kids' diverse ages and learning needs. With all our interests and super packed schedule, bridging that gap between the dreamy homeschool I want and reality, I gotta be honest, it's a challenge. Now, yes, I know perfection isn't the goal, but if you're listening and you could use a little easing of your mental load in your day-to-day, I found a resource that has become the quiet hero of our routine, and it could be a really great option for you too. BJU Press Homeschool Curriculum. Now, many think that BJU Press Homeschool is solely an all-in-one option, and though it does excel in that role, did you know you can also opt for specific courses and tailor them to fit your family's needs, just as I have? BJU Press Homeschool provides the perfect balance of structure and flexibility and easily complements my family's mixed age, family together on the couch learning style. They are second to none in integrating a biblical worldview, stimulating critical thinking, and offering tons of hands-on activities in the lessons. To find out how BJU Press Homeschool can come alongside you in your homeschooling goals too, visit bjupresshomeschool.com or click the link in the show notes. I've got some news. There's a new reading curriculum that ditches workbooks and drills for fun and games. If you're thinking fun and games sounds a little too good to be true, it's not. 98% of children improved their reading test scores in just 6 weeks with the Reading Skill Set by Love Every. It's a phonics-based program that follows the science of reading, but makes learning to read fun, motivating, and confidence boosting, because it happens by playing games and then practicing with just right skill level books. Kids love it and parent educators love it. And it works. Visit loveevery.com/Christy-Faith today and use code Christy10 to get 10% off your purchase of the Reading Skill Set by Love Every. That's lovevery.com/Christy-Faith. Welcome back. Okay, so maybe the best way to frame this is to start by explaining what structure is not. Structure is not the same thing as being rigid. It's not a one-size-fits-all, unchangeable rule book. Instead, it's a flexible framework, a guiding skeleton, like I said before, that you can adjust as you need. Think of it like this. Structure should never feel like a prison that you can't escape. It's more like a budget. You create a budget to guide how you want to spend your money, but you're not locked into that forever. If something unexpected comes up, you adjust and you're prepared for it. The same goes for your time. And let's be real, we all crave freedom. But here's the thing. We need balance too. Think of society, right? Like we all live in a society where a certain level of structure helps us stay civilized. The simplest example I can think of is that we shouldn't hurt other people. That's a rule we can all agree on. It's a basic foundation for human interaction that keeps things running smoothly. In the same way, having some structure in your homeschool doesn't stifle creativity. It actually supports it. For example, a solid set of house rules like not hurting others, might be a part of your homeschool framework. And guess what? That's still structure. The Journal of Organizational Behavior suggests that externally imposed structures, when balanced, positively influence creative outcomes. It's not about controlling every little moment, but creating an environment where everyone feels safe and knows what to expect. And people think that structure kills creativity. That is so not true. In fact, it can nurture it, and does. For example, I love starting my days with Pilates, not because I'm stuck in a rigid routine, but because I have found that it sets me up for success. It clears my mind, it boosts my energy, and primes me for a productive day. That little structure doesn't take away from my freedom. It enhances it by giving me a solid foundation to build on. But Christy, how do I implement structure in my homeschool? I want to go over 5 ideas, but also if you need your homeschool to be more smooth sailing and don't know where to start, or you need help implementing these 5 things I'm about to talk about, please consider joining Thrive Homeschool Community. In Thrive, we support you through monthly masterclasses taught by experts, 5 live office hour sessions each month geared to your stage of homeschooling, and yes, they're live Zooms with us, and more. I'll put the link in the show notes. All right, here are my 5 game-changing ideas. The first one builds on what I mentioned earlier. Start with anchor point. Think of these anchor points as the pillars that help organize your day. Your morning routine can really set the tone for the whole day. Are you jumping right into the day with energy, or are you easing in slowly? Either approach can work, but having a routine helps create predictability and stability. Mealtimes can also serve as powerful anchors. Use these moments to set the stage for something productive, whether it's tidying up around the house together or sitting down to read aloud with your kids. And let's not forget about bedtime rituals. You can create a calm and consistent routine like low lighting, a warm bath, cozy pajamas, and a bedtime story. This not only helps your kids wind down, but also ensures they get the rest they need to be ready for another productive day. Anchor points provide excellent starting places for building the structure of your homeschool day. The second idea is using a flexible schedule. I'm all for embracing rhythms and time-based schedules, whichever works best for your family's needs. If you're a working parent who's decided to homeschool, a time-based schedule might be essential. I know it is for me. Your children may need to be up at a certain time, and you might need specific check-ins with them between meetings. When work obligations are in the mix, a time-based structure can help keep everything on track. Similarly, if you're dealing with health treatments or medications that require a set schedule, this approach could also provide the necessary framework that you need. However, if neither of those situations applies to you, a more flexible rhythm might be a better fit. In this case, there's no need to wake your children up at a specific time, for example. They can wake up naturally, within reason, right? And your daily flow might look something like this. Wake up whenever they naturally do, breakfast, get dressed, then move into your core subjects, and so on. This rhythm-based structure still provides consistency without being too rigid. Our third concept is creating clear expectations. No matter whether you choose a rhythm-based or time-based approach, setting clear expectations is key. Everyone in your family needs to know exactly what to expect and what's coming next in their day. See, this is when you start to get battles, pushback, and resistance. Because if we don't plan the day, they will. It's so important that your kids and everyone else involved understands which structure you're following so they feel confident and they know what to do. Depending on the ages and needs of your children, you might want to involve them in the process by asking them their input. This can help them feel more invested in the routine and give them a sense of ownership over their day. For example, older children might want more flexibility when they do their tasks, while younger children might thrive with more guidance. Now, keep in mind, it will likely take some time for everyone to adjust if you are new to implementing any structure. Transitions can be tricky and they do require some patience. You can help smooth that transition by using visual aids like charts or checklists, and these tools can be incredibly effective for younger children or visual learners. It helps them understand what's coming up next and what they need to do at each point in their day. Over time, these visuals can become a helpful part of the rhythm or schedule, reducing confusion and increasing independence. We're going to get into the fourth idea after the break. Before we continue, I want to share with you a program that's been a game changer for our homeschool. At our center, we instructed and helped kids through pretty much every math program on the market and know firsthand just how important a solid math foundation is for our kids' futures. As a career educator with high standards, finding the right program that checked all the boxes felt like too tall of an order until one day I tried CTC Math. CTC Math is an online math curriculum for K-12 students with motivating, interactive lessons that allow kids to learn at their own pace. It does all the teaching and grading so you don't have to, and their adaptive lessons adjust so your child is progressing confidently. With CTC Math, your child is getting a top-notch education and you just made your homeschool life easier. Visit ctcmath.com to start your free trial today or click the link in the show notes. Struggling to find engaging, high-quality classes that fit your child's learning needs and your busy schedule? Look no further than OutSchool, an incredible online resource perfect for homeschoolers. From arts, music, and languages to STEM topics like robotics and coding, OutSchool has something for every learner. Not only do they offer exciting electives, but they also provide, wait for it, academic courses. Yes, even advanced ones. It's been a secret weapon of mine for giving my kids a well-rounded, fun, and engaging education. Use code Christy-Faith at checkout to get $20 off your child's first class or tutoring session. That's outschool.com, code Christy-Faith to get started. Okay, number 4, incorporate breaks and movement into your framework. Structure doesn't mean you're glued to the kitchen table for hours on end, and it certainly doesn't mean sacrificing well-being for productivity. In fact, one of the key aspects of a healthy, effective homeschool routine is making sure your day includes breaks and movement. It's essential for everyone to step away from the books or screens periodically, and here's why. Movement helps your brain. For example, I've built basketball breaks and water breaks into our core work schedule so that everyone remembers to move their bodies and stay hydrated throughout the day. We also sometimes do laps around the house. Outside the house. Well, inside too. I mean, we do roller skates in the house sometimes. It sounds simple, but small habits like this can make a huge difference in maintaining focus and energy levels. Hydration is often overlooked, but it is a key part to staying sharp and keeping your body and mind functioning at their best. We live in a very high elevation and dehydration is a daily danger for us. So I have water breaks written into my kids' homeschool schedules. In addition to things like that, some moms I know have implemented walking pad breaks. This is a great idea. Getting moving on a walking pad or just stepping outside for a walk allows the brain to reset. It boosts circulation and helps get the blood flowing again after a period of focus. There's studies behind this stuff. Like, have you heard of Pomodoros? There's a ton of research backing up the benefits of walking throughout the day. Studies show that walking, even for just a few minutes, can improve cognitive function, reduce stress, and enhance memory retention. It helps clear your mind, making it easier to process information and transition between tasks. And guess what? Everybody could benefit from movement. Regular movement improves everyone's attention. It reduces feelings of restlessness and keeps people engaged throughout the day. So instead of thinking of breaks as interruptions, view them as essential tools for keeping everyone energized and ready to tackle the next task. The breaks make homeschooling run more smoothly, so put them in the schedule. Now let's get into idea number 5, consistent consequences and rewards. Now don't come after me.
Don't come for me.
Just wait until I'm finished because the consequences and rewards get a bad rap. I'm all for consequences and rewards. I feel wholeheartedly in intrinsic motivation, which is that inner drive to do something because you genuinely care and want to succeed and you enjoy it. That's the goal. But here's the thing. There's absolutely nothing wrong with celebrating progress along the way or facing loving consequences when needed. I want my kids to recognize the value of hard work. I want them to understand that putting in the effort is what truly leads to growth. That's where the success lies. I also believe in giving natural and logical consequences, especially because we have such a foundational base in our home of connection and belonging and unconditional love. Every parent aims to nurture self-discipline and responsibility, and that starts with setting setting clear expectations and guiding children to understand how their actions impact themselves and others, all within a framework of empathy and support. And sometimes that does mean loving consequences. What I will say though is in our home, consequences have reduced so much since we changed our parenting from authoritarian to more connection. And it truly has helped our days run smoother, but most importantly, our relationships are so much better. But back to homeschooling. For example, when my kids put in the effort and get their work done, I'm all about celebrating that achievement. Whether it's with a special treat like boba tea at the end of a week as a we did it moment. But I'm also okay if they now don't have the time to get to the play date that they were hoping to get to because they decided to procrastinate on tasks they knew needed to be done and had plenty of time to complete. Sometimes the consequence of missing out on something they enjoy is the most important lesson of all. All of this to say, structure isn't about control. It's about creating an environment where your family can truly thrive. If you're feeling overwhelmed and the days are starting to feel chaotic, it might be time to reassess the structure that you have in place. Perhaps a family meeting is in order to clarify what you thought were clear expectations, but may have been murky to others. Approach it with grace. I'd love to hear about the structures you have in place in your homeschooling or even what you're thinking of tweaking right now. Because remember, the ages and stages are constantly changing and homeschooling is a journey. Flexibility is the name of the game. What works today might not work next week, and that is perfectly okay. You're ready to pivot and adjust when you need. And if you need more guidance along the way, we're here to coach you, encourage you, and help you in Thrive Homeschool community. But even if you're not ready for that, make sure that you check out all of my free downloads. I have curriculum recommendations, a free 23-page how to homeschool guide, a 5-minute homeschool style finder, and more value-packed freebies on my website. A link to everything is in the show notes. Thanks for joining me today, and if you're in Thrive, I'll see you in office hours.